flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.
Hello, everybody, and welcome, Goat Locker fans, to another race under the lights for the Lincoln Tech Veterans for Life Racing Truck Series. It's round 8. We're here in the virtual cornfields of Newton, Iowa, at the Iowa Speedway. We've seen high bank super speedways, we've seen bumpy racetracks, but tonight we go to the bumpiest racetrack possibly of the season, and that's right here at Iowa. And strap in tight, let's get ready to watch round 8 of the Veterans for Life Racing Truck Series here on V-Speed. Hello and welcome, everybody. I'm Alec Martinez, and joining me here tonight, good to have you back in the booth, Bradley Cooper, joining me in behind the scenes. Got Eddie Smith working the cams. Bradley, it's good to have you, and first off, welcome, and hope you're looking forward to tonight's race.
Very much looking forward to it. It's been a long time since me and Alec have worked together, but the chemistry's still there, and I'm hoping that we can pick up right where we left off here on V-Speed.
We sure are, and man, I'm looking forward to it. Last week, Michael Kostek got it done, went 7 for 7. Tonight's goal to go 8 for 8. Let's take a look at our point standings here tonight as we head up into the Iowa Speedway. 6 drivers locked in on points. Obviously, 7 winners. 1 winner not counted because not full time, and that. Looking at that cut line, Chance Taylor, James Goshen right there separated by 1 point. Steve McDonald trailing by 8 points. That's going to be something to monitor throughout the night here tonight.
Yeah, that's a very unique situation where you have 7 races and 7 different winners. It's kind of unbelievable, but you know that's how the competition goes here in Goat Locker Racing. We've caught up a lot here on V-Speed watching the replays back, and these guys are very, very competitive going into this playoff format.
Yeah, and that's our playoffs, our schedule. Not too many races before we get to the end of the regular season. Got Iowa tonight, and then next week a Dash for Cash race. Also, mind you, it is a qualifying race for that Dash for Cash here tonight in Iowa. Then Phoenix next week, and then right after that, we go to Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the playoff cutoff race, and then the playoffs will begin. And Bradley, I believe, as we're here in Iowa, a short track, not a full mile, kind of the sister track to Richmond. I believe you got some track facts for us here tonight.
Well, here in Newton, Iowa, there's 12 to 14 degrees of progressive banking, and you'll have to be careful up in turn 1. Very, very bumpy and very much modeled after Richmond Raceway, as you mentioned. That turn 2 wall, very easy to hit on the exit. And as you sweep through 3 and 4, you can run the middle to Highline later in the run. 4-corner D-shaped oval opened September 15th, 2006. And it's just under a mile here. So fuel strategy also comes into play. And recently with the reconfiguration of this racetrack, they changed the grip strip and how 3 and 4 is laid out. So some new asphalt down on the bottom of the track.
Yes, sir, they have. Well, we'll be as qualifying is taking place, and we'll go right to Jared Ashley for our national anthem. We'll be back after that for the starting grid of tonight's race.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And a thank you to Jared for the awesome anthem that we have tonight, as qualifying has just wrapped up. And it looks like Jake Ham is going to be your Jam Printing and Promotions pole sitter here tonight with a 23.041. So Jake Ham looking for his first win of the season, rolls off on the front row in first. Right next to him, it's Patrick Drabick. He'll be rolling off in second. Third has the Duke. David Duke will be rolling off in third. And Jacob Allingson will be rolling off in fourth. Craig Bontrager will roll off in fifth, with Jeremy Gardner to his outside in the sixth place position. Seventh has Jesse Necula, and Mike Browning will roll off in eighth. And rounding out row number 5 will be Levi McCarty starting ninth, and Jamie Mullins rounding out the top 10.
Daniel Cunningham will start in the 11th position with Tyler Justice in 12th. Then it goes for row number 7, Michael Kostick and Howie DeSavino in the 55. Timothy Stubblefield in 15th position with Chuck Feltz in the 16th spot. Matt Knight in 17th with James Goshen in 18th position. Brandon Wallace 19th, and rounding out your top 20 is Logan Sturgeon in the 26th.
Then James Kaufman will roll off 21st. Then Andrew Chapman, who's race control, says he's starting 22nd. He is not in the race, so behind him, Jeremiah Holt will actually start 22nd, and George Jewell round out the field in 23rd. And that is our starting lineup here tonight for 115 laps at the Iowa Speedway. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in here tonight, and especially a shout out to Mommy Alexson, who's out in the hospital. Our thoughts and prayers are with you and wish you the best here tonight. Hope you're enjoying the race. And also a shout out to the Veterans for Life Racing. They are a race team with the goal of fielding a truck next season in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Veteran based and focused on helping veterans all across the racing world. They are heavily involved with many veteran nonprofits to raise awareness and funds. Goat Locker Racing is now partnered with them, and they are the title sponsor for the Friday Night Truck Series, which is the racing series you're watching here tonight, the Veterans for Life Racing Truck Series. And Bradley, I'm happy to get this going. We got a couple laps of pacing, I believe, to get these guys get their tires warmed up. I want to also ask you, as you look through this field, can we go 8 for 8? And if so, who do you think, or are we going to get a repeat winner? Who's your pick here for tonight?
I don't know. We've got Jeremy Gardner, Patrick Drabick, Howie DiSavano, Cody. I can't even know. I got McElwain, Andy Kurtz, Jamie Barkas, Michael Kostick. The list here, a lot of familiar names that I've talked about and mentioned and seen in other leagues, but just I don't think I can narrow it down. I don't think we're going to have a repeat winner. This is another unique setting here tonight. So right now, based off of what I'm seeing, I think probably Jake Ham starting on the pole.
Cam starting on the pole, looking to go 8 for 8 here. We'll go to our race analysis. 60% fuel load of Maconie's fixed setup. 115 laps, 40 miles per hour. We're the more difficult pit roads to get on there. And then 2 green and white checkered attempts. 4 tire sets available. 1 set on these trucks before we go green. 3 tire sets laying in the pits. And I'm sure, given the right circumstances, we'll see these drivers use those tire sets to their advantage, as Iowa, one of the tracks that kind of eats up tires. And I think when we think of tire wear, I know he hasn't had a great season, and I think tonight, why not go 8 for 8? I got to think Jacob Allingson has a really good chance at winning this race. He's been so good, so consistent. He just needs to not get himself in trouble, and I think he's got a chance to win this race, go 8 for 8.
What really stands out to me here, Alec, is only 3 tire sets in the pits, and we know this track is notorious for chewing up tires. These guys are going to have to be really careful about when they pit and when they take them.
Yes, it is, and tire is always going to be the talking point of tonight, and we know this track can get wide, as it's Jake Ham and Patrick Drabick on the front row. The pace car will pull off into pit lane. 115 laps here from the Iowa Speedway. We're underway on a Friday night. Trucks going up the racetrack already. Mullins seems to have an issue, but now it's still side by side into turn number 3. Pole sitter Ham on the bottom. Patrick Drabick in the 07. The Creepsicle machine on the outside lane coming to the line. It looks like a dead heat. Almost give the nod to Jake Ham at the line, but now Drabick fights hard on the outside.
Yeah, that outside line is probably not where you want to be in 1 and 2, but it's going to prevail. He's going to have an even better run out of 3 and 4, and Jake Ham, who was just barely able to lead from the pole, has his hands full very early in this race as they pull away from 3rd and 4th.
And they do, and that will give that lap to Patrick Drabick, who's now still on the outside lane, goes a little bit higher, maybe burning up tires early in this run. Allingson goes up to the 3rd past Duke. The 78 truck, goes back to 4th, and Jeremy Gardner sitting in 5th. It looks like Drabick going to clear Ham off of turn number 4 and give Drabick the lead and the clean air off of 4, and he'll lead the next lap here on clicking off lap number 3. This race going to go by in a jiff. It's going to be quick, and back half of this field still now single file all the way up until the 6th place position. Mike Browning battling with Craig Bontrager, Levi McCarty, Jeremy Gardner, all battling here inside this top 10.
Oh, look now, the lead is going back. Contact coming out of turn 4. We've seen a few door checks here in this truck already. I saw that pass back there for the 3rd position as Ellingson got around. but they're stacking up outside the top 5. It's still a lot of 2x2 from 6 on back to 10.
Yes, there is, and you can see Browning on that outside, those neon yellow numbers, a little bit of neon day glow on that bottom side skirt of the truck. He's on the outside of Jeremy Gardner, and he's going to try to take that 5th position away and get inside the top 5. Gardner been loyal to the bottom, sticking out those left side tires almost on that yellow line, and ahead of them, David Duke also on the bottom. These top 2 have kind of checked out about a 6 or so tenth of a second lead, but the leaders still battling hard. About a truck length separating the top 2, but back here, this is a Hornet's Nest. Levi McCarty in that black and gold, or black and I guess I'd say dark gold truck, a little bit of a Miller light throwback, that 24 truck behind these guys. You're on board with him. He's also trying to find a way to maybe get by. He's got a truck on his inside, although he just clears Craig Bontrager off of 2, and now focuses on Gardner and the 4 of Browning. And I tell you this, Gardner, I like what he's doing. I think he's saving those tires. He might be somebody to watch out for on this long run, but you can't lose too much track position.
Now, saving's one thing, but if you lose too much ground to the 07 and the 87 of Ham, they're just going to keep pulling on you and racing side by side. You can see how the 27 of Ellingson is slowly creeping up, but for guys like Duke and Browning, they've got their hands full and they can't run their line. That's going to cost them a couple tenths here and there.
Yes, it is. And right now, the top 2, and the biggest thing I'm noticing, look at how much everybody's more up the racetrack other than the 49 and the 42. They're kind of on the bottom, but everybody else seems to be way up the track. Yeah, and McCarty just getting cleared behind the 42 of, or excuse me, Gardner clearing the 24 of McCarty barely. It was almost a tight fight, almost extra contact, but could have been an incident as this field more single filed out, getting spread out very quickly. And surprised, Jenny Mullins has really struggled. Started 10th, and he's back in 20th, and that's something to monitor. It looked like he had an issue in turns 1 and 2 on the start of this race, but now he's settled in 20th, but really struggling here so far as Gardner back underneath, or trying to get back underneath Browning. Behind them, Bontrager underneath McCarty for the 7th place position.
So Bontrager on that inside line, I'm really surprised. It looks like maybe that middle line working a little bit better through 1 and 2, and it could have something to do with the temperature here tonight. 73-degree track temperature. It's very grippy. Usually you slide up there in that outside line in 1 and 2, and you find yourself in the wall before you know it.
Well, more grippy, more momentum probably carried up especially off the exits of these corners, as there's Bontrager and McCarty side by side. Necula and DiSavino closing up behind them. This is the battle for 7th place on the racetrack. McCarty going to pinch the 49 of Bontrager low. McCarty going to have to get out of the gas here on the exit of the corner, but still carries momentum. Not clear of the 49, but just by, as 13 laps on the board are clicking off. And man, this race going by really, really quick, and it's not really surprising that we're seeing this, as the lap times are very quick around this track. Doesn't have the repave like you have in real life, but still turning 23-second laps and probably having to do a lot with the colder temperatures. As Bontrager still to the inside of McCarty, but now has to maybe play a little defense, because here comes Necula, and man, good battling so far between this top 10. These guys all seem to be very even in these trucks.
To apologize if that came across the microphone there for a moment, but lots of productions here on V-Speed, and so you always have to set a notification to remind yourself that it's time to go live, and there it was.
There it is, and as we're on board as your leader, the Jam Printing and Promotions truck in the lead, so why not shout them out? Since forming in 2013, Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsors to more than 60 local nonprofits, with the primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning, local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community, as Patrick Drabick doing good as well here, leading, has the clean air, but still got Jake Ham, the pole sitter, behind him. Don't look now, here comes Jacob Allingson in the 27, the 78 of David Duke. This top 6 now coming together very quick, and now Ham looking for a little bit of a nose underneath.
He's got the captain's hat on, look at that.
There's the Duke
giving it all
back there.
she's got, Captain.
I love the Duke. He's having a good run. Had a great run at Dover 2 weeks ago on the concrete. Had a heck of a battle with Jake Ham and Mike George and a couple of those guys. Daniel Cunningham, all great battling that we saw at Dover. Was a heck of a race to broadcast. And right now we got a good race of brewing up here in the top 5, it seems, as Duke is closed up to Ellingson. Ellingson's closed up to Ham, and Ham's closing up to Drabek here as Bontrager is McCarty under pressure from DiSavino and Necula, and he's going to lose those spots. And Bontrager finally got by for 7th, but it seems like Levi McCarty struggling just a little bit as this run goes on and is just falling to the last place position in the top 10 into 10th. And look now, here comes last week's winner, the retruck of Michael Kostek and Daniel Cunningham closing up.
Paying really close attention to the 55 of DiSavino. He is on the move, up 6 spots. Biggest mover in this race so far. Very tight coming out of turn 4. He almost had another position to get him up to 8th, but he's been working on the 51.
He has. And
I don't know how much longer those tires can hold up for him, though.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll see everybody probably bringing down pit lane. And shout out to Highway DiSavino with the pink truck, the hope on the side, the pink numbers as it is October, and that also means breast cancer awareness. And remember, 1 in 8 women in the United States is diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime, and it is the 2nd leading cause of cancer death in women. There are 2.9 million survivors that are alive today because of early detection and treatment. We are turning pink this month in support of all of the organizations that are helping fight this disease, and Goat Walker Racing, they support it as well. And huge shout out there to Highway DiSavino with that paint scheme, and for all those that have fought off breast cancer awareness, those women, they are fighters.
Speaking of fighters, you shout out the paint scheme there, but you got to shout out how much push this 55 has had since the start of this race. And here at Iowa, it's easy to get very aggressive and feel, the first 10 laps or so, but maintaining that run, that discipline to keep the consistent line, start trail braking a little bit more each lap. And you got side by side just behind the 55 there. Looks like the 91 of Daniel Cunningham is trying to crack his way into the top 10.
And Cunningham trying to at least secure himself a little more of a points cushion into those playoffs as he's battling with Levi McCarty. And then behind them, Kostek doesn't really have to worry about anything going on because he's locked into the chase, although maybe seating wise. But nonetheless, though, he's right behind these two. Looks like he'll have a little bit more pace than maybe the 91 and definitely more pace than the 24. And those guys being side by side, it's gonna kind of reel that 3 in. But it seems like if you're on that middle, you can kind of pinch the guy off on the bottom, and it kind of hurts their exit where you can carry a little more momentum. And here comes Kostek to the outside. This is happening right inside the top 10, battle for 11th, right behind McCarty, who's sitting in the 10th place position. As here comes Kostek up to the outside by Cunningham, at least pulls even with them. And into turn 3, McCarty gonna try to get in the way, kind of air block a little bit. As Kostek now will have a really big run on the exit, as the bottom just doesn't seem to have the grip that the middle and outside lanes do. And there goes Kostek up to 11th, sets his eyes on that black and gold machine of Levi McCarty, as Drabek now has done a good job of opening up that lead, and he's pulled about 7 or so truck lengths over Ham and has a 7/10 of a second lead. And how about behind Ham? You got, little contact. Ellingson and Duke making some contact. Ellingson in the wall! And there goes the 27. Not another finish that he doesn't need. And Ellingson's frustration continues as he is still stuck up on the outside wall. And he finally gets it off, but heavy damage to the right front and a frustrated driver to go with it.
Very upset there on the camera. And he knows that this race just got away from him. And I'm sure that, the things that are going on and the shout out that we had there just a minute ago, a lot going on. This is going to add to it.
Yes, and unfortunately they're battling there with the 78 of David Duke off of turn 4. Ellingson using up to that outside lane, and it seems like here's the 78 or the 27 they just kind of meet there, and Ellingson's just loose down the straightaway trying to get it corrected, and he can see just goes up on the outside wall, and now heavy suspension damage to the 27, and unfortunately gonna cost him another good finish. And Ellingson been one of those drivers so consistently up there, just has not had the finishes to go with it. Is interesting development here for third. Jeremy Gardner goes past David Duke here for third, now sets his sights on Jake Ham. Behind them, though, Mike Browning in fifth. And how about Craig Bontrager in that 49 truck? He's caught up to this battle here for what was third.
Now you're watching the top five kind of accordion back together. Drobic, Ham, they battled out. They pulled out a lead of, over a second. Now it's starting to slowly close back in, and that's a case of using up your stuff a little bit too early. I think for these front two, they got so much tunnel vision of racing each other that now they forgot about the other 20 cars that are on this racetrack.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, I just saw a monster lap time get put down, almost 0.2 of a second faster than our leader, and that was Jeremy Gardner in that 42 truck. He is hauling the mail right now, but this field getting very spread out, not quickly, but it's spreading out as laps kind of click off, and I'm really going to wonder, by the end of this race, we'll probably be in lap traffic, but pit stops here, I don't think you're going to want to go 115 laps on tires. So when do you want to pit? We know now these guys are about a second to fall off after 32 laps. When do you want to see guys bring in? Do you cut it into thirds, or do you cut this race in half, pit at about, 62-ish?
I've seen these races, especially with this lap count, where drivers will do both. And so you have half the field choose to do that, split the race into thirds and just go off of raw speed. But I've also seen drivers that stretch it to one stop, and sometimes that can prevail, but you have to be on point and pray there's no cautions to mix it back up. So it's kind of a gamble either way.
It isn't, man. I'll tell you what, Levi McCarty is sliding that rear end of that truck out every corner. As DiSavino got by him about, 10 laps ago, and now here comes Michael Kostek to the inside, last week's winner at Watkins Glen, and looking here to the bottom of the 24 truck. We'll see what the 24 decides to goes up a little bit higher. They're trying to maybe diamond the exit and get a good run on the exit of the corner, but so much sliding for the rear end. He can't really put the power down to carry the momentum, even though right there he does it. But Kostek just seeming to roll the center a little bit better, but on exit, if you're on that outside lane, you carry so much more momentum that it seems to just clear McCarty off the corner, and Kostek can't find a way by him. As, how about this battle for second? Gardner and Ham, almost a little contact off of 4, and Ham trying to hold on, and Jeremy Gardner really, really fast on this longer run, and Ham's gonna have to do everything he can to hold him off. And we saw last week the battle or 2 weeks ago at Dover, Jake Ham holding off David Duke and Mike George and a couple guys that were trying their hardest to get by him, couldn't do it, and I think Gardner's got a fire on his hands. But man, such a better truck in these corners, rolling the center really good, getting the drive off on that bottom. That 42 truck is really fast.
He's gonna hit that plateau here where he got up into the top 3, and now he's finding it a little bit more difficult to pass trucks. But I can see how he's running the bottom a little bit better. Those lap times he was able to put down, even now after he's been racing side by side with Jake Ham, he's still putting up competitive lap times with the leaders. Venture to say that he's probably going to be in the top spot here soon.
I think he can, but I think we got to look at how Drobic has been on this longer run as well. He's doing a good job. He has had clean air since, I guess, lap 2, and he's doing a really, really good job. And as these two are battling here, how about we give a shout out to the Veterans for Life Foundation. The goal of Veterans for Life, for the Veterans for Life Foundation, is to both revitalize communities and supporting military veterans and their families' successful transition back into civilian life. Through support services, counseling, and education, they provide permanent, affordable housing to veterans and their families. So shout out to the Veterans for Life Foundations, and yeah, they do a great job, and they also sponsor this series. And man, they just do such a great job, and you know, promoting here in the series. And man, they are all for a great cause here. And here for second, though, Ham holding off Gardner, and tell you what, Gardner has kind of just been stuck behind this 87. Is how about this? The leader coming down pit road.
That confirms what you were talking about earlier. If the leader's coming down, that might force the hand of some of these guys behind him.
Everybody come down.
Yeah.
But I want to look at the strategy too. I think he's going to cut this race into thirds.
Yeah, he would have to.
That's going to be interesting as our leader, Patrick Drabick, comes into pit road. This will be interesting to see in terms of strategy. How does this affect him? Short pitting as the leader is something you don't really see often, and we're seeing it here now. Top two stay out. Necula coming down pit road. I believe everybody else keeping it going, and there's another truck. That's Matt Knights in the 64. He is a lap down. He is bringing it into pit road. And there goes the 07 of Drabick out of pit road. He's going to rejoin in about the battle, which is Stubblefield, and that's around behind the 14th place truck of James Goshen. And this battle for the lead, Jake Ham holding on, but now we're going to really see the speed of how much fresh tires matter. Drabick is going to be flying through the field.
I'm going to ask you, though, Alec, is he going to regret that? If somebody else decides to go all the way to this halfway point, right around lap 65, and they try it in one stop, I mean, this could backfire on the leader. Maybe he thought that no one could do it.
And this could then eventually be the battle for the lead. And you got to remember, we saw as well on Sunday in the Cup Series, here comes Gardner to the inside. We'll get to that in a second, but Gardner going to the bottom here, trying to get the lead away. I think this time he might clear. No, he won't. Ham comes back on the outside, and he gets the lead back. And here comes the lap truck behind them. That's the 33 of Tyler Justice. And we'll have something on Justice later here tonight, and maybe a couple laps, but Justice trying to maybe give these guys a little bit of room as these two battling. And when will these guys pit? I think maybe in 15 or to 20 laps we'll see these guys come in. And it was going to go back to on the Drabick situation, doing the three-stopper. We saw it last week in the Cup Series race at Las Vegas. Guys pitted and some guys stayed out and tried to save fuel, and the guys that stayed out and saved fuel end up beating everybody but one guy. So the best thing about three-stopping or turning into thirds is you're going to be on offense all race. Here, these guys are going to be on defense most of this race, because after they pit, they're not pitting again. You got to save tires. And I think this is what we're going to see now is these guys have to, who can manage, and especially with these two battling for the lead like they are, can they save tires and hold off Drabick, who's going to be going full pace?
You got the 33 of Justice mixing it up here. Almost took him 3 wide into the entry of 1. When you're the 42 of Gardner right now, you're just hoping that lap car gets out of the way.
And now Gardner can focus on what's happening here. And you see that Justice gets by, and he blows by them with ease. And now he's just going to blow by everybody that's around him, basically. And we'll want to take a look here as well. Drabick is a second a lap faster than these two battling for the lead, and he makes you wonder, are these guys holding each other up as Ham might be coming to pit road, but he's got the lap truck of George Jewell to deal with. Will that hurt him? Gardner stays out, Ham into pit road.
That was a tight entry, almost got into the barrels. I mean, he didn't have a choice.
And now it's interesting, do these guys have to three-stop it now? Maybe Ham, because he's going a little bit longer. Yeah, look at that. He's going around Jewell.
Tight. That is a hard pit road anyway, because of where the congestion's there. But then you have a car to your inside. That doesn't help.
That was gutsy there by Jake Ham, who right now getting service to his truck. He's already gotten passed by the 07 truck of Drabick right now, as Gardner still on the racetrack staying out. Ham barely getting his his left sides on it now. He's out of pit road, but about a straightaway and a half back is the 87. Here comes now Jeremy Gardner into pit road. Kostek will stay, or he's coming in. McCarty has came in. DeSavino is in. David Duke staying out on the racetrack. Do we see the Duke maybe try to stretch it another 10 or so laps to get in, as Mullins has missed pit road, and he's going to reset and go to pit, and now going to go way to the back. And he's going to fall laps down.
That's exactly what I was talking about right there, is how difficult that pit road is to get on.
I don't know why he didn't come back in, and wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, well, Mullins, or just go back around.
Frustrations,
Mullins,
man. Sometimes it's easier to just F4.
Yeah, and he's going to leave it, as now Duke and McCarty have brought it down to pit lane, and that leaves Cunningham, Stubblefield out on the racetrack of guys that have yet to pit. Maybe Cunningham going to try to cut this in half. Will he be the guy we're talking about at the end of this race, having to hold off everybody? And Drabick has already passed basically everybody that's pitted. Ham is, oh, look at that! Trouble! Jeremy Gardner is sideways down the front stretch, and that is going to play into the hands of Stubblefield. As Stubblefield bringing it down pit lane, we'll see where he cycles out. But our first caution of the evening comes out at Drabic, the only other truck still on the lead lap. See here, our V-Speed instant replay. Gardner coming out on cold tires, just loses the back end of the truck and goes around.
Just watch Timothy Stubblefield.
Wow.
He elected not to go into his stall, and he will stay
Now,
on the
smart.
lead lap.
He's still going to restart third, so that was a smart move. Cunningham, what a strategy
just-
that's going to be.
And
And
just
now-
go into his lap.
Now we got to talk about Drabic here as well. Where does he cycle out? Because he already has laps on his tires. Does he stay out here? If he does, he can trap everybody from, I believe, 9th on down, a lap down. Oh, I should say that, maybe a little bit further down, but he'll trap DiSavino, who's in 11th, a lap down. We know Cunningham's pitting. Will we see the
stayed
07
out.
of Drabic, and he stays out? So that'll put 10 trucks on the lead lap, but we also got to remember, as Stubblefield now going to take his tires, Cunningham and Stubblefield, 13 laps on tires is a massive difference.
Especially here. That's
Especially
gonna make
in
a huge
Iowa.
difference. Yeah, it's
And
gonna
all
be
those guys
3/10.
taking the wave around, except Nekula. Nekula short pitted, and he got the wave around. He got the lucky dog, so he's now in the lead lap. So 4 trucks on the lead lap right now. Now what we'll have once the wave arounds come around is 14. Kaufman being the last truck on the lead lap. But we also got to think about these guys can't pit because they're taking the wave around. Wow, this race flipped on its head already. And early as we're now going to be at a point, do you pit or do you stay out the rest of this race because it's doable? Wow, 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 wow. How about that as first caution of the evening, and we'll give a quick shout out. How about the Cruising Classics here tonight, and located in Columbus, Ohio. Cruising Classics has a beautiful 56 square foot showroom filled with hundreds of unique automobiles. There's something for everybody out there. Hand-picked selections of muscle cars and hot rods. Come on down and visit the facility today and check out their website at cruisingclassicsinc.com. They got a great selection. I highly recommend you check them out as we're still under caution. Guys getting sorted, pacing getting sorted. How about we do our veteran spotlight here tonight, and that is the driver of the 33 truck, Tyler Justice. Tyler Justice served in the U.S. Marine Corps for 4 years as an 0844 artillery fire direction controlman assigned to Bravo Battery, 1st Battalion, 12th Marine Regiment at Marine Corps Base Hawaii, where he calculated firing data for the M7782 howitzer. During his career, he participated in 2 unit deployment programs, rotations to Camp Hazen, Okinawa, as well as detached to the Philippines, and 2 detachments to the Combined Armed Training Center, Camp Fuji. Tyler continues to serve in the DoD Civil Service capacity for the United States Air Force. We appreciate him for all he has done for our country, and shout out to Tyler Justice, currently running in the 9th place position, so you can root for Tyler on Wednesdays and here on Fridays. Is started 12th, up 3 spots, and there he is in that Goat Locker Racing Chevy Silverado, and well, he's going to take the wave around, and man, has this race turned different
Oh,
here
my goodness.
tonight.
I don't even know. We don't even have data, though, that confirms Daniel Cunningham and Timothy Stubblefield can make it to the end of this race, because we didn't
Exactly.
quite make it to the halfway point.
Now I will say they're at an advantage here, and Nekula as well. Don't count out Nekula, who just took tires. Those 3 trucks will have a huge advantage on tires, and thank you to Eddie for saying that as well. As Cunningham was clutching during that run. Will he be able to make it as you see trucks getting the wave around? So 1 to green before we go back. I think Drabic is at a severe disadvantage here. He's going to have to hold on, but when will he pit? The strategy for pitting
Look
is
at all
going
the
to
wave buys.
I know.
It's half the
This
field.
is something. This is going to be something. And you got to remember now, Stubblefield,
They're gonna burn
Nekula,
fuel.
and Cunningham, fresher tires. Those drivers have yet to win a race this season. Could one of these 3 go and make it 8 for 8 on the season as the wave round's coming around here, and all the lap trucks are going to start ahead of these guys? So, man, oh man, do we have something here brewing? And, well, we'll get to that maybe in a little bit. I was going to say hidden.
Our producer Eddie Smith's betting on the Daniel Cunningham can make it, so.
We'll see if he can as the field gets caught up. And the pace car will make a hard left turn into the Geico restart zone. Drabic, older tires, the field on fresher tires. Green flag is out, back underway from Iowa. Drabic gets away, but can Cunningham, Nekula, and maybe the lap truck are going to split him in the middle. That's Stubblefield on a restart in the back. Look at this. Goshen on the outside. That's a lap truck going by. Stubblefield way behind, a second and a half back. So now Cunningham maybe going fuel save mode. Here comes Duke on the inside. He's a lap down. He's going to try to get to Drabic, who is the leader, but with older tires. Goshen going around the outside. And the 85 truck, Brown Duke, that's the battle for the lucky dog. And Cunningham has gone, I believe, straight to saving fuel.
This field is all over the place, but yeah, if you're Cunningham, he has to save a little bit. It was a little bit short of the halfway point. And I'm sitting here trying to just keep up.
Now, caution kills that strategy, and that will bring Patrick Drabic, who we can argue is the dominant truck of the race, right into it. Right now, no matter what, Drabic will have to pit. And now here comes Duke getting his lap back. Drabic, like we said, will have to pit. So right now, he's leading, but he won't matter because, well, if these guys can make it on fuel, can he run them down is the other question as well. As Duke trying to get his lap back, does so into turn number one as Drabic fighting on the outside, but tire disadvantage for our leader, and Duke goes on by back on the lead lap the old-fashioned way.
He earns it back out of the exit of turn two, watching the second place driver with 4 trucks between him, 2 trucks between him and the leader.
Yeah. How about Nekula as well?
Side by side for, what would be a lucky pass position here.
And the lucky dog here is between between Goshen and McCarty. That's, like you said, a battle that's going to be interesting to see. And that's ahead of our second place runner, Daniel Cunningham, who's trying to save fuel. And then you got Nekula in this 51 truck on your screen battling with Ham, but Ham will probably have to bring it down pit road as well. Nekula going to have to save fuel to get to the end of this race, but it seems like if you could save from the beginning, it might be possible. As right now, then you got to remember they had those caution laps to save fuel. You're looking at going about, I don't know, close, but 66 or so laps. Can they save enough fuel to the end?
We thought tire disadvantage would play a factor here, but it looks like for Cunningham, he's saving so much fuel that he's not able to go up there and race with the 07 of Drabic.
No. And there's no point.
That's a shame. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no point to because he is not the race. He will have to pit. Your race is the 51 truck behind you, and that's Nekula. And Nekula, can he maybe strategically run Cunningham out of fuel at the end of this race as he's putting pressure on him? Nekula only separated by 2 trucks, lap trucks of Gardner and Wallace. Can he get by them as Brendan Wallace to the outside of the 91 of Cunningham? Remember, not a battle for position. He is a lap down in 17th. Gardner, who was the cause of the caution the last time out, he is also a lap down running 18th. You can see Brendan Wallace laser-eyed focus here as Gardner taps the outside wall there, and now Nekula and Cunningham separated by 1 truck. And how about Jake Ham? That is a battle for position, but he will also have to bring it down pit lane.
And how many trucks do you want to let go by you? I know that you're in save mode, but for the 42, he's got that position behind him with Nekula, and Jake Ham's not too far behind that. So if you keep falling out, if these guys can make it, you end up losing this race.
Yeah, and the thing is, Ham, I feel like this is the battle right now, is Cunningham and Nekula. Whoever can save fuel and is ahead of each other might be able to win this race come the checkered flag, as now Nekula to the outside, Cunningham on the bottom. Maybe Cunningham saving more fuel and tire than Nekula is, as Nekula goes by on the outside and takes over the second place position. Here comes Jake Ham as well to take over third.
Up there on the outside through 1 and 2, that's almost in the bumps.
And it is, and he's going to go around Cunningham and now trying to get the 2-for-1 special in 1 lap and get around Nekula in the 51. How about Bontrager in the 49 truck behind them? He's sitting in 5th, trying to get by the 91 of Cunningham. Nekula is 2nd, Ham 3rd, and here comes Bontrager to the outside of Cunningham. Oh no, tucks back in line. And wow, very interesting to hear. I can't tell. I think I can hear that he is saving fuel hard here. Oh yeah, he is clutching and coasting right there.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah,
At
he
this
is
point,
trying
this
as
race
hard
is-
as he can.
This race has been flipped on its head, Alec, and you got guys that maybe were outside looking in on that strategy. Maybe they were committed to splitting this race into thirds, and that caution coming out where it did put him in a better scenario to go
contact
away behind
In the back,
yeah,
Browning
I saw
bouncing
that.
off the 26 truck. That's Sturgeon in the 26 bouncing off there. And here comes last week's winner, Kostick, to the outside. Stubblefield also trying to save fuel. He's on the same strategy as Necula and Cunningham. And Stubblefield had a great finish at Atlanta this year, and he's up 6 spots as Browning drifts up the racetrack ahead of him. And the Sturgeon, a lap truck, just trying to kind of stay away, not trying to get wrecked. Oh, sorry, that's not a lap truck. Excuse me. Oh, there's contact. Sturgeon
Wow.
gets thrown at the racetrack. That was a battle for position. That was for 6 on the racetrack. And I don't think Logan Sturgeon's going to be too much of a fan of that bump from Mike
No, he's
Browning.
not.
And he's going to get close to the bumper. We'll see if he returns the favor off of 2.
He's got laser
won't.
vision right now.
Here
through 1
comes
2.
Kostek. And Kostek on the bottom.
He's got laser vision on the back of that 4 truck of Browning.
And I'll tell you this, Daniel Cunningham saying, please, and Necula, they're just saying, please, boys, keep together. No need to bring out a caution right now. As Sturgeon gets loose, and apologies to Logan Sturgeon. I thought it was a lap track. He was not. He is on the lead lap, and he has dropped 2 positions back down to the 8th position. And here comes Timothy Stubblefield closing up behind them as Browning and Kostek battle for 6th behind Daniel Cunningham in the 91 truck. And man, oh man, is it going to be interesting to see if any of these guys can make it on fuel. Maybe a Ham or a Bontrager. Can these guys make it on fuel with just the 6 or 7 more laps ran on their tires and tanks of gas? Although that's a lot to ask for.
For all the
Can
trucks
you
that were
save
trapped
enough?
a lap down here, though, we're progressively working that field to everybody being on the lead lap. The 24 of Levi McCarthy is trying to get around the 07 of Drobic. See a battle
Yeah.
on your screen.
Let's get back
but,
on the lead lap
yeah,
here.
There's 4 or 5 trucks left here that are just behind the leader that are trying to get back up.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing everything he can, and man, with all the strategy going on, everything that's happening, it makes you want to have an ice cold beverage, and that's what Hidden Wit Brewery can do for you. As Hidden Wit Brewery Company was born from the desire to help you find a little escape from the world outside of our doors. Their focus from the beginning has always been to craft drinkable beers you love to enjoy. They are majority veteran-owned and title sponsor of the Tuesday Xfinity Series, and appreciate what they do and all they do as well. And also, I want to shout out to Invets as well for all they do. And Howie's dad, thank you for reminding us, there he is right there, Howie DiSavino, his father, the owner of the Hidden Wit Brewery Company. Man, they got a nice truck on here tonight, and Howie obviously racing every now and then on the late model side, made some Xfinity starts as well. So shout out to Hidden Wit Brewery, and as well as Invets. As Invets aids in transitioning to civilian life, focusing on job placement and finding the right community for veterans and their families to ensure their success and happiness. They are a veteran-owned nonprofit in Indiana with the goal of bringing veterans to the state to live and work. They're the title sponsor of the Sunday Truck Series here, and shout out to Events as well. And I'm sorry for rubbing that in your face there, Bradley. I know what you were saying earlier, but yeah, no, you might have to go check them out. You might have to go check Hidden Wit out.
Yeah, I'm always down for a cold beer anytime.
Oh, yeah.
Watching the lead stretch to 1.5 seconds, and
Necula's keeping him honest. There's Stubblefield gets into the wall there, and here comes Sturgeon back down to the bottom. And Cunningham has fallen behind them, and he's running
Sturgeon's
a
coming
half
down
a
the road.
second. Oh, interesting. This is now another domino to fall. 40 laps to go.
a few others fall
Interesting to
behind
see
him.
what he can do. Will anybody else come into pit road? Sturgeon, the first one to bring it down pit road. And like I was saying, Cunningham, 3 to almost a half a second off a lap. And like you said, thank you, Ed, for pointing that out. He's on the same strategy as Patrick Drabick. Here comes Knights, Jewel, Justice into pit road. McCarty stays out on the racetrack. Gardner staying out on the racetrack. I think DiSavino stays out as well. Man, oh man, good
We got a flood
Lord, here
here.
comes everybody else. Ham, Goshen,
Yeah.
Browning, Kostek, all bringing it in. Does this force the hand of our leader, Patrick Drabick, to come in?
I think it does, and this puts Daniel Cunningham back in a better situation. Based off the stint, Timothy Stubblefield is the only other driver on that same stint, the 92. So that's the competition right now for Daniel Cunningham to make it to the end of this race and win.
Yeah, Nekula as well, another one that's still on that strategy. Nekula, Stubblefield, and Cunningham. Can they make it on fuel as they continue to save? And they got another 40 or so laps to go on these tires and on these fuel tanks. Is it going to be possible to make it to the end on pace? And can Drabick, with how big of a lead he's built, can he run them down being on offense? As on board with Chuck Phelps, they're doing a great job here tonight, running in the 6th position. Pegleg, he's doing a good job running in 6th, and you know, we've been saying with it, Brad, I don't know about you, but I would not want to pick a fight with Chuck Phelps.
No, absolutely not. I get to see
Not
those
a good
on boards
idea.
on Sunday Sunoco, and no way. No.
Don't want to. As man, right now Drabick is under a lot of pressure. Trucks with fresh tires, trucks a lap down, trying to get their laps back. Justice in the 33 trying to find a way around Gardner. Gardner trying to find a way around Drabick. Knights and McCarty also in that battle, and Drabick staying calm, cool, and collected right now. As here comes Justice. Oh, trouble! Jake Ham has had an issue. The 87 with heavy right front damage. It looks like, I don't know what's the issue with Ham.
Saved it.
He saved it, but I don't know what happened to him. Oh, I think he got loose. Same
coming
thing
out of
with
four.
Jeremy Gardner. No
He got loose
caution.
out of 4.
He sure did, and we'll take a look at the V-Speed Instant replay. On board with Jake Ham, same thing that happened to Jeremy Gardner over the seam off of 4, spins around, no caution, spun into the infield. The caution lights did not come on, they did not get triggered, and that's going to hurt Jake Ham and his chance to become our 8th different winner of the season, as he's going to have to go maybe thread the needle past Drabick, and Gardner splitting him 3 wide. Gardner has to get out of the gas, and now he'll get one of those 2 laps back past our leader Drabick. And is Drabick running out here too long?
I think Drabick's banking on a caution coming out to bail him out of this
This could
situation.
be the side right here. I think that he might be pitting this time.
Yeah. Yep, he's coming
There
down.
he comes, Drabick into pit road. Our leader now bringing it to pit road. That'll hand the lead over to that purple truck that just went by. That's Jesse Nekula. Bontrager stays out another lap now. Nekula, Stubblefield, and Cunningham will be the top 3 of the top 4, and will eventually be the top 3 as they try to make it on field to the end as Drabick slowly down pit road. Can he get out at least 1 lap, maybe a lap and a half down? Cannot have a caution.
26 laps to go. We're going to find out who's got it.
We're going to
He's got
see
enough.
as here comes Drabick. Nekula goes by, puts Drabick a lap down. 4 tires on the 07 Crimsco Jam Printing and Promotion Chevrolet Silverado. He's out of pit road now, but because of his late stop, can he pass? No, Browning and Kostek as well, maybe Sturgeon are going to pass Drabick down the back. How about this? Nekula and Bontrager bringing it down pit lane. Nekula bails on his strategy. He's into pit road. That leaves Timothy Stubblefield
spells
and
trouble.
Cunningham out on the
This is
racetrack.
spelling
Can they
trouble.
save fuel?
I think Cunningham's been saving enough. Look how much he had fallen back. He had
Yeah.
fallen out of the top 4. And so now works his way up to 2nd. I think he's been clutching just enough. He can make it to the end. I don't know.
See Nekula and Bontrager into pit road. Down the front stretch will be Patrick Drabick. He'll get by these 2 in a quick and timely manner as Nekula out of his pit box, but there goes Drabick by him. And Browning now the first truck. Oh, trouble! Patrick Drabick slides off of turn 2. Hit Drabick slow on the apron.
No
A
caution.
big costly mistake for Patrick Drabick. That brings Nekula and Bontrager with fresher rubber behind them. A huge save, but a costly mistake for the dominant truck of the day.
How many
And
times have we
trouble on
seen
the
this
racetrack.
unfold?
Caution is out. Nekula has spun off of 4. And oh my goodness, has another turn in this race. Drabick a lap down. And the second caution of the evening traps all the best trucks of the day a lap down, and Stubblefield and Cunningham have basically gained a lap on the field. Necula on fresh tires, by the way. What happened to Ham and Gardner seems to have bit Necula.
I was just about to ask you, how many
Yeah,
times have
same
we
thing.
seen cold tires bite these guys?
And it seems like it got another one there, and into the outside wall goes the 51 of Necula. And oh my, how about Jeremy Gardner, who was a lap down, was involved in the last caution. He gets his lap back and now is sitting in 5th. But now it's up to Stubblefield, Phelps, Cunningham, Duke. Can one of these drivers get their first win of the season and lock into the playoffs with what will be less than 20 laps to go? And Browning gets the lucky dog. Wow, 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 wow. What an amazing turn of events we've seen. And now the money stops for these drivers.
No, we were watching fuel strategies play out. We've got drivers that are coming in for this last ditch effort, but you got to keep in mind this is the second set, and for some of these guys,
Yes, it is.
this
Their
is it.
final set.
Yeah.
And how about this? Timothy Stubblefield wins the race off of pit road, beats Cunningham, Phelps, Duke, Gardner, McCarty, Wallace, and DiSilvino. Kostek as well is going to try to take his wave around Browning, showing the leader, but we'll have to probably, I would think, either A, bring it down pit lane, or B, go to the back because of an EOL penalty, and he's going to bring it down pit road. So can Timothy Stubblefield, or Daniel Cunningham, or Chuck Phelps, even David Duke, can one of these drivers punch their ticket in to the or to the, I guess, the playoffs, if you so will? Is it possible? Can they hold off the only driver that's won this season in the top 8, being Jeremy Gardner?
Shout out to
top 7.
Stub Nation here, because
Stub
they gotta rise
Nation.
up here. They gotta hold it here for the remaining 20 laps or so. Hashtag on the back of that machine
right.
in the 92.
Is got to be standing up right now, and Browning gets his service done. And oh boy, is this going to be a 20-lap shut? As there's the Stub Nation sticker on the back, or the decal on the back. That Chevy Silverado. Love the camo and neon green. But man, oh man, does he have a fight on his hands here for what will be the race win. And oh my, man, is this going to be wild? Brad, what do you think here? What do you think is going to happen?
This is my first time here in a while, Alec. I don't know what could happen. I know that the strategy has been thrown out the window 3 times tonight. You come into this race with a mindset, and then that's gone. As soon as you hit the green flag, you're starting to realize that it maybe doesn't work out. Then a caution comes out right as everyone's hitting pit road. You get to another fuel strategy. You reset. Caution comes out again. Now we're getting into maybe some green, white, checkered territory with how this field is grouped back up.
If we could, man, we hope everybody at the Nasty's Restaurant and Bar, man, if they got this race on, they are getting treated to a heck of a show as they open up on March 21st, 2012. Nasty's opened up its door in Hillard, Ohio, and from the get-go, they aim to embody the energy and passion their sons, Nathan and John, poured into their dreams. Nathan's commitment to hospitality ensured that every guest received exceptional food and service. They are the co-owners of Wednesday's Next Gen Series, or co-sponsors of Wednesday's Next Gen Series, and they've hosted numerous fundraisers in their establishment, and with the goal of raising funds to donate a sim rig to a deserving veteran or first responder. So we appreciate all what Nasty's is doing, and well, if you're tuned in at the Nasty's Restaurant and Bar, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the show here tonight, as man, oh man, have we been treated to a wild, fun, and wacky race here from the Iowa Speedway, and what will be a 17-lap shootout to the end. The top 4 looking for their first win of the season is a little contact under caution. Wallace and Jewell get together on the backstretch, and no harm, no foul, I don't think. as the top four racing for their first win of the season. Who can come out on top? Or can Jeremy Gardner dethrone one of these drivers a playoff spot? Pace car, pulls off into pit road. Into the Geico restart zone we go. Green flag is out. Stubblefield gets away with a wonderful restart. He pulls about a truck length away from Cunningham, but Cunningham fights back on the outside. Remember, cold tires. How about the Duke and McCarty closing up on the outside?
They're going to have to be really careful with these cold tires. These drivers know that it's bit 2 or 3 of these fast trucks tonight. That's where these cautions have came from. 3 wide for the lead.
3 wide for the lead. The Duke to the middle. Stubblefield falling back. Now Levi McCarty into the picture. Cunningham with the lead. The Duke to the bottom. Duke down to the inside. McCarty on the outside. Gets by Stubblefield. Side by side for the lead and a playoff berth. Down the back strips they go. Coming to 15 laps to go. Now Duke sends it down to the inside. McCarty waiting in the wings of these two get together. Cunningham holds up on the outside. McCarty in the wall.
15 laps left. Daniel Cunningham was able to play enough defense there to hold on to it, but another effort here by the Duke.
And the Duke down to the inside. Trouble behind. Brendan Wallace spins down to the inside wall. No caution. Duke to the inside for the lead. Cunningham on the outside. A slide job move maybe for the 78. Won't work. Still side by side. Trouble on the back. Felch gets turned. No caution, surprisingly, as they battle still for the lead. How about Gardner up to third? Could he do the spin and win? And there's the caution. Who's going to be the leader? It looks like it's going to be Cunningham at the line. At the timing of caution, Cunningham was the leader, and Feltz going around bringing out what is our third caution of the evening. And we'll take a look
They were 3
at what
wide
happened
here. They were 3 wide coming out of 4.
And there's Brendan Wallace going around in the background. It looks like Jake Ham to the inside. He was the lucky dog. I don't know if he got a piece of it. He spins right in front of him. Yeah, Ham did get a piece of it. DiSavino just missed it. And wow, and that's...
I think Feltz was loose prior to that.
Had to have been, yes. And another caution. But now these laps clicking off under caution, this gives a little bit of time for Cunningham to kind of regain and rethink. His less laps to hold off these guys behind him. There's another, like I said, another look at the replay there. And man, what's going to be close will be restarting with under 10 to go. And Gardner, man, he had a spirited charge that last, what was a shootout. Then guys bringing it down pit road. How about this? It looks like Kostek and Sturgeon putting on their final sets of tires. Could that make a difference? It maybe, I don't know if it's a lot of trucks to pass, but is it possible Drabick stayed out on the racetrack? I'm interested by that call, as well as Bontrager. Wow, man, oh man, what an insane race we've had so far tonight. And wow, man, amazing racing. How about Daniel Cunningham? He's looking for his first win of the season. David Duke looking for his first win. And these top two are drivers looking for their first win of the season and a playoff berth. There's not enough races in this chase, or in this regular season, I should say, that will keep anybody out from winning. There's not enough races, not enough time in this schedule. So, man, oh man, what drama is playing out here. And these two are, again, looking to get into the playoffs. Jeremy Gardner, well, he won the season opener at Talladega this year, so he's locked in. He doesn't need to worry about checkers. His more mentality is checkers or wreckers here. He has no worry about points because he's locked in. He has no worry. He doesn't need to worry if he wrecks. That caution that he brought out, I don't think he purposely meant to bring it out, but, well, it didn't matter. And now, over time, he's kind of gotten back up to the front, and he's here, and he has a chance to win this race. And behind him, Levi McCarty, another driver who's winless this season. He can punch his way, sell his ticket into the playoffs. And Timothy Stubblefield, Stud Nation, still has a chance to get in as well. DiSavino, the winner at Atlanta, he's locked in. Browning not locked in. Jurabic, he's locked in. Bontrager not locked in, and neither is Kaufman. So far you have about 3 drivers in the top 10 that have won a race this year. But you have 7 drivers that have yet to win a race this year and are looking to be the 8th different winner in 8 different races and be the 8th name covered in yellow and locked in to the playoffs here for the championship. As now pace car lights still on and laps continuing to click off, and what can only be a dream for Daniel Cunningham to just say, I wish this race could end in a caution. Well, right now, the laps are clicking off. It gives him less time to have to fend off these drivers, but less time to make a mistake. Cannot make a mistake on this restart. Get a good restart, and I think you got a good chance here. And again, another possibility, where does Cunningham want to restart? Does he want to pick the bottom? Does he want to pick the top, Bradley? If you're in this position, where do you pick?
Based off what we saw in that last run, he defended really well against the Duke on the outside. He will have Jeremy Gardner restarting just behind him here, but I think I would choose the outside for this one.
Outside seems to be the lane of choice so far this race. I should say Drabic picked it every time, and looks like Cunningham's going to do the same, so that'll put Duke on the inside, Gardner on the inside, and how about Levi McCarty will jump up to 4th behind the leader. Can he maybe overtake Gardner and set up this 3? But you got to remember, he got up into the wall a couple laps ago on those quick laps. This restart going to be with about 8 laps to go here from Iowa, and what a race have we been treated to, as on board with the pace car, the field behind, some slow trucks behind getting sorted out and getting in line. Also want to remind everybody, Sturgeon, Kostek, Justice, Wallace all have fresh tires. They just put them on that last time. Will that make a difference? Will that be able to gain them about 10 or so spots? And can they get a win here tonight, as the top 2 will be Cunningham and Duke looking for that win. Remember, behind them, row 2, that red 42, he has a win this season. The black with gold 24 numbers was also winless this season. Pace car pulls off into pit lane, into the Geico restart zone. They go, contact further on the inside lane. Duke and Gardner damaged maybe to those trucks. DiSalvino and McCarty with the chance now. They dive into turn 1. Gardner powers to the bottom with DiSalvino. Here comes Duke to the inside. Gardner looking to take it 3 wide into turn number 3.
They're going to hold on down to the bottom here for the 42. I don't think he's got the run on the Duke.
He doesn't.
Duke's
He had to let out of the
briefly have
gas.
the lead.
Dead heat to the line. Cunningham leads the lap. Duke to the bottom. Gardner behind. McCarty on the outside. Duke has to get out of the gas. How about Drabic back in the picture? Gardner's loose. He cooked DiSalvino in the wall. Drabic down to the inside. He's up to 5th. What great battling here. Drabic now up to 4th. Gardner battles on his inside. Contact for the lead.
Tight. It's getting tight up here.
Beating and banging. Here comes Duke to the inside. Cunningham holding off on the outside. McCarty behind them. Drabic up to 4th. Gardner and DiSalvino 5th and 6th. How about Logan Sturgeon with fresh tires? He's up to 7th. Does the Duke have anything to that bottom?
He's pulling Cunningham higher and higher. He's
5 to
pushing him
go.
to the outside in 1.
Here comes McCarty. He's down to the inside. He packs a little air on the Duke. Cunningham clears. Now McCarty underneath Duke. He went Cunningham hoping for these 2 to battle. Trouble down the backstretch. Jake Ham, Chuck Phelps around, and that'll set up for a green-white checkered. And oh my goodness, Daniel Cunningham will have to do it again.
He played such good defense and finally broke away from him, and another yellow comes out. He's going to have to start all over.
And man, oh man, the bumper, it's going to get physical. I think the bumper is going to be used somehow, some way. And how about Drabic now? Back in this, Brendan Wallace gets loose, and then a little contact from Ham, and 3 trucks meet together and have a little bit of a party on the apron. And there is our 4th caution of the evening. And man, oh man, does it get any much better than this? What a save, or it was a great save there, and just nowhere really right in front of Ham and Phelps, and they both go around, and that will award the lucky dog to Jesse Necula in the 51, and he'll be back on the lead lap.
Trying to look for information here to just have some kind of statistical knowledge of who won here last season. It was Jonathan Cofield. So that doesn't help me at all. Not in the field here tonight.
For a new winner here, and these top 3, they've yet to win a race this season. Now, if you're Daniel Cunningham here, he picked the top the last time. But if you pick the top, look who you're going to have behind you, and that's the creamsicle truck of Patrick Drabick, who has been the best truck here tonight. He's led the most laps. He's led 73 laps tonight, and he's rallied from everything that's been thrown at him up to fourth. If you're Cunningham, do you put him behind you and put the two guys on the inside that are probably going to be the most desperate to win? Do you put them on the inside, or do you put one of them on the outside and the other one on the inside and put Drabick behind whoever, which will be Duke, on the outside? Is Cunningham willing to do that? Or are you going to have Drabick restart behind you, and if he gets to you, he's been the best truck. He's going to have a heck of a chance to win. As you can see, a little chuckle as DiSavino gives him a little bit of a, I guess, a what's up bumper to the back of the 07.
I think I start on the outside here, Alec. I've seen the defense. The higher line has prevailed every single time. You can pinch guys down in the entry. Even with the Duke pushing that entry up higher and higher for Cunningham, it didn't seem to matter.
That's true, but you got to be careful if you're Cunningham. When do you stop giving the room and you just let them bounce off of you, because you don't want to put yourself in the wall. You put yourself in the wall, the guy on the inside, all you need to do is slide job you into 1 or 3, it's over.
Yeah.
And you got to also think, if you're David Duke in the 7 or in the 78, excuse me, are you going to put a bumper to him? Because I think right now, are you willing to? Because this is your playoffs on the line here. We know Duke's, I think, comfortably in, but there's nothing like having the reassurance that you're in the playoffs. You don't need to worry about the next few weeks. You can practice and get ready for what is Pocono and IRP, Michigan, and Richmond. You know, this is going to be something to monitor. Who's going to be the aggressor here? Because right now we know Cunningham, he's on full defense. If he can get a good restart, get separation, let Duke and whoever restarts in 4th or even 3rd, if they can just battle for a set of corners, I think Cunningham will have a legitimate chance of just kind of running away, get that little bit of a buffer. A 3-4 truck length buffer is all you're going to need to avoid getting from the bumper. I don't see anybody pulling an Austin Dillon here and just cleaning everybody out and cleaning you out into 3. Man, I don't know. And we saw the inside line that last time had a horrific jump. They had just an accordion effect. This time, can Duke, get a better restart than he did last time? And if he can stay side by side in 1 and 2, well, it's all bets are off right there.
And for Cunningham, he's been rehearsing this sevenfold. He's been practicing, trying to get better at these restarts, rehearsing it over and over again. The only way to do it, though, put it into real time.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if the practice has paid off.
The lights are on, and not only are they on the racetrack, they are on these top 2 who have been winless this season, trying to get into the playoffs. Levi McCarty is not in the playoffs, or now these top 3 not in the playoffs. Drabick, DiSavino, Gardner have won this season. Drabick at Nashville, DiSavino at Atlanta, and Gardner at Talladega. Can any of these top 3 pull off a win and secure themselves into the playoffs? And what will be a green-white checkered 2 attempts. We'll have one more after this into overtime. Cunningham in the 91 on the outside. The Duke, David Duke on the inside. Drabick in the 07 on the outside with McCarty. Into the restart zone they go. A late jump. Green flag is out. 2 to go. The Duke hangs on. McCarty gives him a shove, and the top 3 are separated by a half a truck length. Duke to the inside. That was a better
restart for the Duke. He's going to take it to the inside and clear him.
He's going to. What a restart from David Duke. Cunningham hits the wall into turn 3. McCarty, can he clear? They keep it even, and they keep it even for second. Off of 4. 1 lap to go from Iowa. Trouble in the back. Will there be a caution? No, there won't. Sturgeon is around. There's contact for 5th. DiSavino at the racetrack. The Duke off of turn number 2. Side by side for second. All he needs is Cunningham have anything left into turn 3. Ascend to the outside. McCarty and Gardner make contact, but it won't matter. The Duke off the turn 4 secures a spot in the playoffs and wins at Iowa. 8 for 8 on different winners, and the Duke gets it done. What a race. What a finish. That right there is a man. That is having the captain. The Duke gets a win, and man, is he elated for this win, and he is in the playoffs, and you got to feel for Daniel Cunningham who did everything he could to hold him off. And man, oh man, did David Duke make
That was just a
a
better
much
restart.
better restart than the last time. And
That was
he
just a
is going to
better
burn
restart.
it down on the front stretch. What a race. What a finish from Iowa. Oh my goodness. What a season this has been. 8 for 8 on different winners. Bradley, I don't think it gets any better than that and what this Goat Locker Veterans for Life Truck Series has done. Another look at
Watch
the
right here.
restart. And
This
you can
is
see
what
Duke-
set this up. He clears him out of 1, and it's set and sail. He's gone.
Yeah, he was gone right here. Cunningham also tapping the wall off of 2. Perfect situation there for David Duke. And then these two battling side by side was kind of all he needed for that one set of corners. Excuse me, to get a little bit of a buffer. Behind them, though, as there goes Logan Sturgeon spinning around in the background, ending an unfortunate finish for his night and what was going to be at least a top 10 run. And then behind him, Cunningham had one last-ditch effort behind, I believe, McCarty and Gardner made some contact for third. And man, oh man, Cunningham gave it his all there. Just wasn't enough, and the Duke comes across the line, gets his first win of the season, and a secured spot in the Veterans for Life Racing Truck Series playoffs. And how about that for our winner, David Duke? And how about let's pull up those finishing order. Let's pull up that finishing order before we get into the interviews. David Duke, the winner here, 10 lead changes. He starts third. He led 3 laps, and he's the winner. Daniel Cunningham is second. Levi McCarty is third. Patrick Drabick is fourth. Jeremy Gardner gets a top 5. And how about James Kaufman coming home in 6th, doing what he needs to do to get points and secure himself a playoff spot. Howie DiSavino is 7th. Mike Browning 8th. Timothy Stubblefield is 9th. And Craig Bontrager rounds out the top 10.
11th spot goes to Michael Kostek. Jake Ham, your pole sitter, goes all the way back to 12th, not the day that he wanted. Then you've got Tyler Justice in 13th, Jesse Necula in 14th position. Chuck Pegleg Feltz got loose there on that second to last caution. I don't know if he was the actual cause of that, but I believe he might have been. Then it's Brandon Wallace to 16th. Fresh tires didn't work out for the 99. Logan Sturgeon, you saw on the front stretch, he falls back to 17th. James Goshen in 18th. Matt Knights in 19th. And George Jewell will round out your top 20.
And in 21st was Jake Ellingson, and unfortunate end to his night. Jamie Mullins comes home 22nd. Andrew Chapman and Jeremiah Holtwell, they did not start the race, and Chapman doing race control. And how about, let's go to our winner, the Duke. I think we're going to pull him up victory lane. David D. Duke, buddy, you got a copy?
Clear, boys. How we doing?
We're doing good, man. What a show you guys treated us to here tonight. And that first win of the season now secured into the playoffs. How does it feel to get that win here at Iowa?
Feels phenomenal. I was kind of sweating it. I really wasn't the fastest car here. I got trapped a lap down during that whole green flag sequence, and raced my way back onto the lead lap, and wound up in the right spot at the right time with the right tires to get it done.
You sure did. And I want to say you're also now, I think, qualified for the Dash for Cash next week. Another short track at will be Phoenix. And how do you feel about going out there and maybe trying to be the first repeat winner of the season?
It's a hill to climb, but we're going to be there to try to climb it.
For sure. Well, we appreciate your time again. Congratulations on the win and a playoff spot. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to here tonight for this win?
Yes, quite a few people. Veterans for Life. What they do, Goat Locker, along with Goat Locker Racing, all the guys here, what they do is phenomenal. I'm actually live on Above the Yellow Line YouTube page for the first time tonight. So welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. I'm glad I could get the dub for you. KeithSaysYes.com, MVV Travel Co. My wife, she's a travel agent. Just McConey, everybody, you guys, it's phenomenal, man. I love racing over here. It's good hard racing, and it's just fun to be around.
Yes, it was. And you guys sure put on a hard race between you, Daniel Cunningham, and Levi McCarty. Well, we appreciate your time, David. And again, congratulations. Welcome to the playoffs, and we'll see you next week at Phoenix.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a good one. Thank you very much.
Let's have a good one. And that's your winner, David E. Duke. And we'll move on to our second place finisher, and that is Daniel Cunningham. Believe Bradley Cooper. You've caught up with him.
Familiar name here in second position. I tell you what, not familiar for second, but more familiar that I know you. Cunningham, it was just another one of those moments where I saw the ghost energy out there and I thought for sure you're going to lock it up.
Yeah, I threw that one away. I just didn't do what I needed to do on that last restart. Credit to the 78. He did what he needed to do to go out and take that one. But yeah, pretty pissed off at myself after that one. To be the control truck and to lose it in 1 and 2 like that is just pretty inexcusable on my part. So that one, especially at a track that I absolutely hate with Iowa, I kind of feel like this place, about like I did with Milwaukee earlier this week, fill it up with water and race bass boats around here, probably put on a better show. But yeah, to have a chance to win at a track that I really don't like, and then I think if we wouldn't have had the caution during the last pit cycle, I would have had it. If we wouldn't have had the caution that led to the green-white checker, I think I'd finally gotten a spot where I would have been able to defend well enough to where I could have held on for the last 5 laps or whatever it was. Yeah, so, but yeah, I mean, I'd like to be happy with second, but man, I kind of feel like either Sheldon Creed finishing second all the time or Kyle Busch being pissed off with second. Take your pick.
Well, I can tell you this, it looked like the race was working in your favor several different instances. And then when we had those cautions fall the way they did, it just kind of threw it out the window. But somehow you kept prevailing back to the front. And with your mindset, I know that you're a fuel saver. Was that the approach you had to start out this race, that you were going to try to make it in one stop?
I kind of took that approach probably about 20 laps or so into the first stint that we had. From the longest green flag, or for the longest run rather, I did in practice, I knew it was going to be close on making it on one stop. So, and then when it kind of started to trend green, I'm like, okay, I'm going to commit to it, because I was running back in like 9th, 10th, 11th, somewhere in that area. And it's just so hard to pass once you got some laps on the tires. Guys were able to defend pretty well up on the top side. So I knew I kind of had to do something different to try to improve my position. And yeah, even with the timing of the cautions, I mean, even though it didn't play out exactly like I wanted, it still worked because I got the track position, and then from there was just kind of able to hang on to it. And I think especially with that first caution, I think there only ended up being like maybe 3 trucks that were on the lead lap that didn't have to take a wave around. So having the track position and the tire advantage at that point definitely helped out.
Well, it's been common that I've gotten to speak to you, and you do well in other leagues that we broadcast here on V Speed. But anybody that you'd like to shout out for making it possible? I know you're not happy with second, but who made it possible to get this truck on the track tonight?
Yeah, appreciate y'all over at V-Speed doing the broadcast. You always do a great job with them in every series that I've run. All the admins over here at Goat Locker, Lincoln Tech being our fall series sponsor. And also want to thank Veterans for Life Racing for sponsoring the series, McConey Setup Shop, all my teammates over at Bandits and Ghost Energy.
Thank you for your time. It's Daniel Cunningham, second place, and it tastes a little different here, but nonetheless, the Ghost is probably going to be flowing after this one.
Yes, sir. And that's Daniel Cunningham, second place finisher. Moving up to third place finisher, Levi McCarty. Levi, buddy, you got a copy?
Yeah, guys, how's it going?
It's going pretty good, man. Well, it seems to be going pretty decent for you. It's another top 3 here finish here on V Speed, buddy. How does it feel? And maybe what more did you need to get to Daniel and to David there at the end?
Yeah, I'm not really sure what I needed to get to those guys. Maybe a couple more laps. Got better as the night went on tonight. We're kind of scrapped there, middle of the race. We got caught down pit road at a bad time and put a lap down. Then we got a caution and put right into the fold of things, and I couldn't be happier with a third place at Iowa. Definitely not one of my strong tracks, but yeah, I'll definitely walk out of here happy with a third tonight.
For sure. And next week, keep it on the short tracks. We go to Phoenix International Raceway. How do you feel about going out there and maybe trying to back this up, if not get a win and try to build that playoff cutoff bubble?
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna take a win to get into the playoffs or pretty much close to it. Yeah, there's so many good good guys and really good iRacers in this league, and yeah, it would just mean the world to me to get a win and make the playoffs. So hoping I can do it at Phoenix. If not, we'll try as hard as we can at the rest of the regular season and see where we end up.
For sure. Well, we appreciate your time, Levi. Does anybody want to give a shout out to here tonight for tonight's performance?
Yeah, there's a ton of sponsors that really help put on this league and make it such a great league and a great place to race. Lincoln Tech, Hidden Whip Brewing, Cruising Classics, Nasty's Restaurant and Bar. I know that those guys have partnered to do a couple charity races here and there that I've raced in, and appreciate everything that they do for those events. The Veterans for Life Foundation, of course, Veterans for Life Racing, InVets, Jam Printing and Promotion, McConey Setup Shop. Great setup tonight. Really great job to those guys, and thanks to them for giving us setups every week to run. Thank you to the broadcast team, V-Speed. Definitely the best show in iRacing right now. You guys do an incredible job. And then NASRA 360. Thanks to those guys as well.
For sure. Well, we appreciate your time, Levi, and wish you the best here, and we'll hopefully be talking to you once again next week out in Phoenix.
I hope so too. Thanks, guys.
Problem. Again, congratulations out there. We'll see you next week. And man, Bradley, we'll bring you in here one more time. What a race we saw here tonight, from strategy to Rex to green white checkers to basically having three guys seasoned on the line with 2 laps to go, and having David Duke punch his ticket into the chase. And now you have 8 for 8 different winners. We're looking to go 9 for 9 at Phoenix, but I know you joined us for one race. What was your impressions and what we saw here tonight, and what this rest of the season?
I want to be back for the next one, Alec. When are we going to do this again? I know that Logan Grokeld was supposed to be here tonight, and he missed one hell of a race. I'm glad that I was a part of this, with the strategy, the tire saving, the fact that it's, borderline a short track with how these guys were going around here tonight. Just a fun experience, and I absolutely would be willing to come back for another one.
We hope to have you at least maybe one more time here up soon. But man, what a race we saw here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate all you guys tuning in and watching, and next week out to Phoenix here for what will be the Dash for Cash race next weekend. And man, oh man, what is in store when we go out to Phoenix here and Dash for Cash race? And could we go 9 for 9 different winners in 9 different races? We're gonna have to find out next week, and hope you guys tune in to what will be a crazy wild race out in the desert. But until then, for Patrick Drabbit, Jamie Barkis, and everyone at Goat Locker Racing, for Adam Baker and Bradley Cooper at V-Speed, and as well as our producer, and of course Bradley Cooper also coming in, filling in for Logan Thurkel tonight. Appreciate you, Bradley, and again, thank you to everybody who tuned in to the Lincoln Tech Veterans for Life Truck Series here on a Friday night. Appreciate you guys. My name is Alec Martinez, signing off for the night. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next week from Phoenix.